Right, let's bring you the latest transfer news now. You can see Mark McAdam has rejoined me. Mark, let's start by talking about Liverpool, because Florian Wirtz confirmed last night, but you've got some more news to tell us on Liverpool concerning Kwanzaa and interesting Gay. What's going on with Bryan Mbeumo? Because I was just asking Sebastian Basson there whether he'd like to see him at Tottenham, but Manchester United seem to be in the driving seat.
At the moment, it feels like he's headed to Old Trafford. We know that there were a number of sides that were interested in Bryan Mbeumo. His record since joining Brentford in 2019 has been phenomenal. He's just coming off the back of his best ever season with regards to goals and assists. He's a key part of that Brentford side. But once again, his contract is running down. Hence why Manchester United are seeing this as an opportunity. We know that there is interest from Tottenham as well. We know that there were other sides in the Premier League that were keen on Mbeumo, but it looks like he's heading to Old Trafford. They're just preparing a second offer, which they're hoping will get the player.
Bryan Mbeumo, the fantastic player of Brentford. Guys, what I'm hearing at the moment is that the conversation, club to club, Man United, Brentford, is still ongoing, is still underway. So talks ongoing for this story, talks ongoing for this deal, but at the moment, still waiting for Manchester United to try reach an agreement on the fee with Brentford. They tried with the first bid, it was 10 days ago, rejected by Brentford. Man United remain in conversations, they are trying to find a way. Remember how important will be the outgoings for Manchester United this summer. We said about Onana for the goalkeeper, but for example, there are many players who are completely out of the project.
Today, you can check skysports.com and the app for all of the details on the fixtures, but there's been some, as he arrived, obviously people were saying Bryan Mbeumo potentially to come along with him, knows him very, very well, has thrived under him. Can you see it happening, Michael?
If I was predicting now, I could still probably see him going to Manchester United.
Oh, okay.
Because it seems like his heart was set on there, and then it's, oh, hang on, I've got an option here. I've got Thomas Frank still, who he admires, adores, and has done so well with him. London, Champions League football. But I still think he'll end up at Manchester United. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it now as of tonight. Spurs want attacking reinforcements in that area. There is interest in Antony and Sancho of Bournemouth. They like the player. Not so sure if they potentially like the price that Bournemouth. If we talk about Bournemouth nearly the whole hour. They've received a lot of money for a lot of players. They don't want to be decimated, do they? So that's one to keep an eye on. They do like him, but we'll have to wait and see. There's Kudus from West Ham. They like as well, but. Yeah, it's a really. We say it all the time. I know we do, but it's a big summer because Spurs jug like Europa League and Premier League. They put all the eggs in the Europa League basket last year, and Ange Postecoglou will say, "Well, I got it right, didn't I?" You can't.
Mbeumo. At one point we thought, yes, he's already signed for Manchester United. It seemed like it was practically done. Is there confidence? What's the chances of Spurs hijacking this deal also?
Look, for sure there is appreciation from Thomas Frank, and so it's quite obvious to discuss a target like Mbeumo for Tottenham, because he's one of the names they discussed internally as soon as he signed his contract as new Tottenham manager. So it's obvious in football to see these kind of situations, but my understanding is that Man United remain at the moment in control of the situation, in conversation with Brentford, club to club, talking almost on daily basis, trying to find a solution. We know with these clubs like Brentford, Brighton, it's always difficult to negotiate for their top players. So it's not easy to reach an agreement, but Man United are on that. Are talking to the club, always in contact with player agents and with an agreement with Bryan Mbeumo, because the player wants to go to United, and so at the moment United remain front runners on this story. Let's see if they can be able to reach an agreement on the fee with Brentford.
Mentions there a potential €100 million price tag, David. Manchester United have been linked with him. How would they be able to afford that?
Well, when you speak to the English clubs, they think that perhaps they could prize Ekitike for a bit lower. Seb and the German perspective understandably could be different, and it's Eintracht Frankfurt's gift to ask for whatever they like. Maybe if a club got to 80 and some add-ons or whatever, I don't know how they would structure it, but there is some optimism that it's not quite as high ultimately as Eintracht sort of letting it be known, but there is still significant financial commitment when it comes to the player as well, on salary and commissions around it too, and many people asking the same question as you: how would Manchester United finance it? I don't know that they're going for him fully, so I think that's a bit hypothetical. It seems there's been some inquiries, and that's kind of their job, to be asking after players and understanding the conditions of a deal, and maybe